If you're watching this video, you're probably thinking of getting started with cold approach, or maybe you've just done your first few approaches. You're probably in a position where you're completely suffering in your dating life, just like how I used to. Or maybe you're in a position where you're just dissatisfied with the options that you've got and you want more. I've done about 1,000 cold approaches in my life. I did 400 day game, about 600 night game, or maybe like 500. I can't remember. I didn't track all of them. And these are the experiences that I've had, well, the benefits that I've had that I'll tell you right now. So first things first, and I think this is by far the most potent, powerful benefit that you can expect with cold approach, and it's getting more options in your dating life. Now, I'm going to talk about this. You're probably really excited for this one because you're ultimately, the reason why you're doing this is because you want more options in your dating life. You don't want to have that fat chick when you grow up. Like, hang on. You don't want to have that like fat girlfriend as your end product. You don't want to have a girl that you're not really into. You want to like long term have a girlfriend that you really, really like. You want to have a girl who's actually hot. You don't want to have this like dead shit relationship. You want to have someone who's actually fucking awesome. And you know that in order to get that, you're going to have to go through and kind of wade through a lot of the cannon fodder, for lack of a better term, in order to arrive at that, you know, top tier woman. Now, when it comes to cold approach, when you're just starting off, you're going to have to wade through a lot of cannon fodder, and you're going to have to go on dates with girls who maybe aren't your end product, and that's completely fine. Now, just this ability to have options, like having girls on rotation, having lots of numbers in your phone, going on lots of dates, it develops the abundance mentality. Now, I more think of it as just having options. So when you have more options, it just makes your life so much better, primarily because it reduces neediness over one girl. Now, if you've ever simped over one chick, like, fair play, we've all been there. When you have options, man, it's just sick. Like, you don't feel needy. Not only do you have options, as in like girls in your phone, but you know that you can go out and get more girls. And believe me, this is such a freeing like mode of being in. You're not at nighttime like stressing, oh, when is the next chick going to come into my life? When is the next party where I might score? You know, look, give me a few days and I can get a date. Or maybe give me, like, when you get really good, like, just give me a couple nights or give me a couple days and I can get a date. Like, and they will be with a decent quality girl. It's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. Man, it's so freeing. This is the number one benefit by far that I experienced, and then you can experience too. If you're at the stage where you're not experiencing loads of options, stick with it. Keep pursuing, keep being consistent and improving your game. Make sure to watch my other video about John Anthony's method, because that's what ultimately cracked it for me after 6 months of just completely suffering in my dating life. And I did 400 approaches and I got 4 dates. And then when I did John Anthony's method, I got like, I can't even remember how many dates I got. I just got a shitload, right? So, okay, benefit number 2 now. So, benefit number 2, increasing your self-esteem. Increases in your self-esteem, it's just perfect. I love cold approach, man. So many benefits. Increasing your self-esteem and just decreasing that insecurity is incredible. Especially if, like me, like with me, I used to be plagued, like constantly in my mind, these insecure thoughts about my looks, height, race. Now it just doesn't happen. I talked about this in my other video, Overcoming the Black Pill, with Hope. But pretty much, when you start having options, you start to realise you're not as pathetic or as a piece of shit as you are. Right now, I know that sounds really harsh, but this is how I viewed myself. And if you're anything like me and you viewed yourself similarly, and maybe you do still view yourself as like kind of lesser than other guys, when you start getting those options and you start getting those affirming experiences, I know it's not good to look for like validation in the external world, but genuinely, once you get these options and once you start getting your schedule packed with dates and you go on dates and girls like you and you get laid and you go on more dates, your self-esteem just does increase, right? It just does. I know we should be deriving our value from within and stuff, but having these like affirming experiences, it's quite permanent. Like, it's not like, I feel like when you get laid, maybe you have like a spike of validation, but ultimately those memories stick in your head forever. Like, you can't, you know, you're never going to be in a position where you're like, shit, can I get laid with a 6? If you've gotten laid with a bunch of 6s. Like, you have that experience now. And it happens really quick. Like, you might get your first 7 out of 10 in terms of looks, right? Girl. And she might be in your life. And now you know, like, I am capable of getting a 7. And that will stick with you. No one can take that experience away from you. And that that memory, that like memory of success is really what increases your self-esteem, at least with dating and in general, to be fair. That's one thing about the options. Number two, when you actually do loads of cold approach, your self-esteem increases because the rejection just doesn't faze you anymore, right? Like, so if you go out and you get rejected by a girl, the first time it's probably going to hurt a bit, but the 200th time, it's just not. Like, it just decreases. The rejection just doesn't really faze you. And so rejections and negative things happening in your, other life or difficult experiences, you're just able to deal with them better. You're able to just stick it out because you've done hard shit before. You've been rejected a fuckload before. Bring it on. Obviously you've got that Call of Duty Zombies fucking quote where John F. Kennedy is like, what did he say? Don't wish for an easier life, wish to be a stronger man, right? So when you get rejected loads of times, you're effectively callousing your mind, like David Goggins, against rejection. And believe me, man, that is powerful, because I've been in times where I'm at the club and I get what other people believe to be brutally rejected, and my friends are looking at me like, holy shit, that girl like fucking rejected me. And in my head, I don't even think about it. Like, I'm just on to the next one. It doesn't even it hardly registers. The first time, let's say the first time I got rejected, it registered as like a 10 on a relativistic scale. Now it probably registers as like a 1 or a 2. And that's only after 1,000 approaches, which isn't actually that much. If you're doing cold approach like hardcore, you will get to 1,000 approaches fucking within, I don't know how much time, but I got there within about a year and a half. But I was doing my degree at the same time, and I had a lot going on, so I could have got there way quicker. But regardless. Number 3, let's go. The I don't give a fuck attitude. This is key. So basically in life, obviously I'm young, and I'm not trying to give you fucking life advice and wisdom. I'm only 23. But when you do cold approach, especially daytime cold approach, it's so socially unacceptable, for lack of a better term, that when you do it, you do it in face of the knowledge that other people are going to judge you, right? You're doing it despite other people kind of thinking, what the fuck is this guy doing? Or any other negative experience, any other negative kind of thoughts. And at the start, again, this can be quite potent and it can really throw you off. But over time, as you overcome this and you really just face that again and again, you're having these thoughts, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, this is weird, and you do it despite it, and you do that again. You get to a point where you start living your life with what you want to do in your life, with the amount of little time that you've got left, right? I've got let's say I die at 80. I've got 60 years of life left, right? I want to live that life on my terms with what I want to do for me, as opposed to living up to what other people expect from me. Other people expect from me not to do cold approach because they think it's weird, it's wrong, even though it's obviously not. We both know that it's not wrong. And in fact, it's absolutely necessary and really good for both parties. Other people just don't understand that. And so instead of doing what your parents want you to do, or what you think your friends want you to do, or what society wants you to do, you just do what you want to fucking do. Right? And that's huge, because at the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed and you look back, are you going to think to yourself, I'm happy, I'm so fucking happy I did what I wanted to do despite what other people think? Or are you going to think, fuck, I wish I did what I wanted to do in my life instead of doing what other people wanted me to do? When you're about to die, this is the shit that you're going to look back on and be like, fuck yes, I was such a beast, I did it despite what other people think. And you're going to look at yourself like, damn, you're going to look back in your life like, this was awesome. So those are my 3 benefits. Just to recap briefly, options. This is the number 1 benefit, because this is really what you're looking for in the first place. At the end of the day, we're not doing cold approach as some self-help technique. We're doing it to improve a very specific part of our life, which is dating. And part of improving your dating life is getting loads of options with high quality women. Even just having options. Most guys in their dating lives who are nerdy or whatever don't have any options. And they're needy towards one girl. They're simping, they're in pain, they're black pilled, they're red pilled. It's just disgusting. When you have options, all of these problems fade. And it's so beautiful. It makes your life so much better as a man. Trust me. Number 2, your self-esteem. Self-explanatory. Your self-esteem goes up when you have options, when you have these affirming experiences of success. And it happens a lot quicker than you think. You get 1-7. Now that one experience is imprinted in your mind forever. And maybe you think, oh, maybe that 7 was just luck. I used to think this. Then as you go on more dates, as you get, more, very quickly your perception of yourself changes. Instead of looking at yourself like, I'm such a loser, I can't get anything, you're like, I'm the guy who can get 6s, I'm the guy who can get 7s. Yay. It's this little win. Trust me, that shit is really fucking awesome. And next, the I don't give a fuck attitude. Living life on your terms, doing what you want to do as opposed to what other people want you to do. Huge. Huge. I'm so happy I didn't do what my parents wanted me to do. I'm so happy I'm doing what I want to do. Yeah, it will probably lead to a bit of ag down the road, but ultimately when I'm going to die, I'm going to look back on my life and be like, I'm happy I did what I wanted to do and what I thought was the right thing, as opposed to just kind of going with the crowd. And chances are you're the same. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can see these 3 benefits and realize to yourself, okay, if I stick at it with cold approach, this is what I can expect. And maybe you've just experienced glimmers of this. Maybe you've experienced a little bit of jump in self-esteem, or you've experienced a little bit of more options, a little bit more of like, I don't give a fuck attitude. You can kind of project into the future. Okay, if I stick at it with this cold approach stuff, these benefits are just going to get bigger and bigger. And the word of warning, don't fall into this cold approach. I mean, I'm not at this point yet, but there are many people with cold approach who make this their life and kind of go down the rabbit hole too much. And I'm sure you understand what I mean. You're probably following other pickup guys, and you understand that this really isn't, you don't want to make this your life. It's more of a phase. But as I said, huge benefits. If you're experiencing glimmers of this, realize that I'm experiencing them too. I'm maybe a bit ahead from you, and you can think, okay, damn, if I'm experiencing glimmers, I don't want a glimmer. I want huge benefits. I want lots of options. I want lots of self-esteem. I want lots of I don't give a fuck attitude. It's going to be good for you, man. Stick at this shit. You will not regret it. Comment if you have any kind of comments. I really want you to comment because I want to engage with the audience. And yeah, hope you enjoyed.